Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time for some more Planescape Torment. Now, unfortunately, before I continue, I must let you all know the earwax is back, and has been for at least the last 6 hours, so basically it feels like I've got an ear full of water but won't hear very well, and the other ear is totally fine. Now, it's not causing me too much pain, but it just refuses to be shifted, so I'm just going to have to wait for nature to take its course on this one, pretty much. I mean, usually I'd be able to go down the doctors, but first off, hey, it's like 3:30 in the morning, and secondly, the doctors have been shut for the last couple of months now because of the whole global health pandemic thing. They're probably all off working in hospitals saving people. Well, I've finished dealing with Aola. However, there are things to do. So I met Requind in the previous episode, and also I want to get back in touch with Ma and talk to him about the box. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here, I have been looking forward to this so much, but actually I've fired up the game something like 6 or 7 times since I recorded the last episode, the night before last. Even walked around a bit, talked to a few NPCs, basically stuff I did about 20 years ago. I basically looking at my plan of what I want to do. I do have a plan, and now I wasn't really scouting out. I was like, bloody hell,
I'm gone.
Where is someone who can buy these bloody bronze rings from me?
Endure.
And I found someone. And it was for one person I hadn't checked yet. I would have checked ages ago, except I was putting it off for a reason. Now, first off, this is locked. I would like to use thief skills to do something about that lock.
Unlocked.
Nice. And we have a charm of infinite recall, which I can use to identify this magical dagger, which I didn't get to identify when I used the previous charm of recall. So let's absolutely do that. So, it's basically a dagger +1, but it deals d6 damage, which is more of a short sword or hand axe kind of damage. +1 meaning it gets +1 to hit and damage, literally. So that's actually a lot of damage, and it's a pretty good weapon. So I would like to use that. I don't need the defreeze scalpel for that at all. So bearing that in mind, we three are going to head back this way. And I'll go into this building over here, because I didn't do that before. Wow, the game music's all gone really quiet, hasn't it? So here we have Rock, who looks a bit worried, and 5 men, who look like wizards, to be honest, striding around in a circle saying abracadabra. And the last one, who has the last syllable, always messes it up, because apparently he can't remember one simple word. That's hardly confidence inspiring when it comes to their magical abilities. Okay, Rourke, what are you doing here? You see a man dressed in plain but well-kept clothes. He pauses in his pacing as you approach. Greetings. Rourke in big trouble. Help you do? What's wrong? Rourke forget rings in tent. Friends need to magic with. No rings. Be mad at Rourke. One ring brown like jink, other shiny like mirror. Last is pretty and yellow. Bring for Rourke. I'll bring them back to you, Rourke.
Updated my journal.
So, according to the journal, Rourke has asked me to retrieve 3 rings from his tent. From its description, the first is made of gold, the second is made of silver, and the third is made of bronze. Now I just need to find Rourke's tent. Rourke seemed to have a simple mind, so it's probably close by. So let's go look for Rourke's tent. Why, here's a tent right here. Let's go in there. Hey! What are you doing in my tent? Oh, sorry, I'm searching for Rourke's tent. Do you know where it is? Blast! Another friend of Rourke's? Yeah, this is one of the tents he calls home. As you can see, this one's full up. Go to one of his other tents. So, Rourke never remembers which tent he sleeps in. He just sleeps in any tent that's nearby. And there's 3 rings we have to find. What fun. But what's this? Under the bench.
All right.
Oh look, it's a bronze ring. I should keep that bronze ring separate from other bronze rings because the game might not be tracking which rings are which, but I certainly am. I should equip this up here. And now that I have one of the rings, whoever's looking for the other 2 won't have the one that I've got. So I can relax and take my time and do some other things that I wanted to do for a while. Don't worry, it all makes sense. There's a grand plan here. It's not that grand, but just a little bit of thinking ahead. So I wanted to go back to visit the angry man who threatened me in his house. In the eastern side of this area. Southeast, to be exact. Should be this building here, and I might even be able to get a little bit of exploration down the side, clear out the map a little bit more, you know? Oh, yeah, I can go all the way down here, that's nice. Right, that makes things look a lot nicer. So last time I came in here, this man, Angyar, was very angry and threatened me with violence. However, I didn't interact with this woman. Maybe now I'll be able to do that while he's busy distracted. Somehow. This woman looks to be in her middle years, and her hair is streaks of grey running through it. Lines of worry crisscross her face. As she sees you, she seems torn between asking you to leave and calling for the man at the table. Hello.
You'd best be leaving before I call my husband. He won't take kindly to having barged your way into our home.
If you were going to call him, you would have done so already. I have some questions for you. Why does he always tell people he has questions? She glances towards her husband, worry in her eyes.
I have not the time, stranger. Do not be troubling me with such things.
Excuse me, are you alright?
Me? She seems surprised. Oh, aye.
She lowers her voice.
You'd best leave. My husband has not been himself of late. You'd best not provoke him with your presence.
I remember speaking with him recently and he seems troubled. What's wrong with him?
He's been out of sorts of late. A touch of the cough, maybe.
She gives an unconvincing half shrug. If you tell me what's wrong, I might be able to help.
I think he's done something he regrets.
Her worried expression melts into despair.
I think he signed one of the dead contracts. I can't imagine what possessed him to do such a foolish thing.
Dead contracts?
The dead. The dustmen have contracts that give them the right to somebody's body after they die.
And while I believe I know the answer to this, what do the dustmen do with the body after death? Because it's not what I know, it's what she knows and what she's willing to say that's important here. It's like Columbo, you know? It's not the question that's important, it's not the answer that is important, it's how they answer that is important.
Animate it with their black magics. Turn it into one of the walking dead. Make it a worker till...
She looks at her husband helplessly.
Till it rots away.
Well, I could ask why he'd do that. Probably because he thinks he needs the money. I mean, he's living here in the slums after all. They say, yeah, he won't need his body after death. But it's like, no, this is... I mean... We know there is such a thing as an afterlife. We've met Dayanara, right? So this would be a pretty callous and narrow-minded reply, limited purely to the physical. Also, this is a world where belief shapes substance. So if he believes he's done something bad, then the psychosomatic effects could really be like kicked into overdrive here. So why would he sign such a thing?
He may have got goat eager to bring home some more Jinkman custom. He's prideful.
She means proud.
But I don't think he's hurt himself more by doing so. But I think he's hurt himself more by doing so.
Can this contract be undone? She looks at you surprised then says,
I've tried. I've spoken to the dustman he did the signing with, but he's cold and chill, like all the dusties. He even lectured me on me husband, as if I had no right to try and help him.
Her lips become a tight, thin line, as if picturing the dustman's face.
He was cold, cruel he was.
The comma should be after cold, not after cruel. Let me see what I can do. Who was this dustman your husband signed the contract with?
The dusty calls himself Gravesend. I know not his first name. He was at a table at the Dustman Bar in the Hive, gathering dust. I believe the place is named. You can most likely find him there, trying to get more people to sign his contracts.
I'll seek him out then. Where is this gathering dust bar? I know where it is, lady.
Updated my journal.
Head out to the street outside, go to Memorial Stone, then head south and west from there.
She taps her finger against her chin.
You should run right into it. There's one of them...
Her face wrinkles in disgust.
Walking corpses just out front.
Very well, I'll see what I can do.
I won't turn away such a friendly gesture.
She seems grateful, then a worried expression returns.
But I must ask you not to let on I should ask you to do such a thing. My husband has a terrible temper, and if he were to find out...
She shudders. I promise that your husband will not find out. Now, I could lie out my arse here, but I made a solemn vow to Dayanara, which I intend to keep, and I feel this should not be any less serious. So, yeah, I promise your husband will not find out it was you who asked me to do this.
Thank you, stranger. I appreciate your help.
Oh, it's no trouble yet. It might be trouble later when I try and actually do something about it. I'll go see about outdoing your husband's contract now. This is going to be difficult. I might need to use pickpocket skills. But for now, I'm not going to go into the gathering dust bar. Oh no. I'm going to go and look for Ma, who gave me this box.
Ugh, I've never seen something so ugly
And the ginger minger strikes again. Well, that's fine. She's there, insulting people and feeling superior. Working through her personal issues, we'll just leave her be and be on our way. I'm sure Mort leered at her while we were moving. She probably reacted with something impolite. Alright, let's go and look for Ma. Was it Ma or Gar? Ma. Now, he was here by this end of the building, and after he gave us the box, he ran away. He ran up this way, I believe, and I can't remember exactly what he looked like, but it wasn't like a collector, it wasn't like a thug, it was like one of these hooded hive dwellers. And for all I know, yeah, bring it on, guys, you're gonna die.
What's up? You got a face only a sledgehammer can love, and has.
But much more importantly,
Your face is just begging to be kicked.
says the skull who doesn't even have feet!
Seems true.
She has the personality of a patch of raisins and twice as ugly.
I hear your words. I will hear you.
Yeah.
Micromanaging. Yeah.
Balance.
Right.
Your path is mine.
Now, I don't know where Ma is. One of the things I did when I was filling around in between sessions earlier, just waiting for the opportunity to record, because honestly I can't record
I'm
till
gone.
everyone else has gone to bed late at night, was try and rack my brain and my old memories, try and work out where Ma wasn't. There he is! Why, hello, Ma. I would have words with you. Ma's eyes take on a wild look as he sees you approaching. In a high, screeching voice, he asks, "What you be doing back here? Don't come back till you be delivering the box." I got rid of the box. It makes me heart good to hear you say that. Before you kill me for trying a horrible deed of tricking you to take that box, please let me try to explain. I could threaten him. This may probably lead to violence the way this game handles things. Or I could say, yeah, go on, explain then. I'd like to hear your version of events. The long and the short of it be that box has been around long as anyone can remember. Chant is some folks were fighting, and when they were done, a huge demon was imprisoned inside the box. Others say an evil wizard made it just for seeing others suffer. No one rightly knows what the truth behind the box be, but the owner of the box will die should it be opened. Oh, people were fighting, but the demon was put in the box before they were fighting, and the box was a prize for the fight. Why didn't the owner just put the box where no one could find it? Seems it would have been as simple as that, but who among us could live with a death sentence lingering over their head? It would drive any sane man over the edge, having to worry about the whereabouts of that damnable box at all times. Then why me? Why did you pick on me? First, I haven't seen you around here before. You see, I needed a clueless Burke, such as yourself, to accept the box and become the new owner. Everyone round here knows not to take the box, not for any price. Secondly, if you didn't examine the box when you had it, you would have noticed that whatever magics were placed on it were weakening. If you didn't examine the box when you had it, you would have noticed. That sentence literally doesn't make any sense. With me being the out, that would be you wouldn't have noticed, surely.
With me being the current owner and all, you can see I needed to pass it on right quickly. Besides, if anyone looked ready to pass on to the next realm, it was you. You want to talk about passing on to the next realm? Keep talking or you'll find out about it. Obviously I picked a cutter of no small means. Surely this has been but a minor inconvenience for one such as you. I offer this weapon and some jink to line your purse as a reward for your troubles. 'Tis all I own, and coincidentally 'twas what that rat Quattro used to get me to take possession of the box.
Give me my reward, then just leave me be.
Updated my journal.
And I've probably dropped some of it on the floor.
Oh no. Oh, hello. Oh, if only I hadn't used that scroll to identify the bone dagger, I could have identified them both now. Bugger. Okay. Well, I'll give the scalpel to him. Because I really need to find someone who'll buy all these bronze rings off me just now. Unfortunately, that is something I did discover while poking around in between saves. And as I mentioned, it was the place I've avoided going so far because I've been saving up for it. I want to interact with this chap at some point as well, but not quite yet, eh? Because I should be picking around here in Ragpicker Square looking for Farod. I honestly can't remember if I've been into this building yet and spoken to Sharegrave. So I should do that at some point. But also there's this nice big round building over here which I have blatantly ignored. Because I've been waiting till I was pretty much ready to hit 5th level thief before going in there. So let's do that now because I'm pretty close. Old Mebeth. Old Meb, eh? This squat old woman, like she has had all the colour bled out of her. Everything from her hair to her shawl to her robe are all shades of grey. The only splotches of colour on her come from several strange herbs which are tied to her belt by their stalks. The herbs make a strange swoosh when she moves, like a broom. Greetings. The elderly woman turns and stares at you, and you notice the grey shades blanketing her body extend to her features as well. Her hair is a wispy grey and her eyes are like chips of granite. She frowns when she sees you. And who might you be? I honestly don't really know who I am. So, you not know yourself, child? She squints, then points at your chest. Hard to piece together the man beneath all that tracery and scrawling scars, is it? Maybe. Who are you? With a sly cackle, she wags her eyebrows. Have you not heard of old Mebeth then, the midwife of the square? Have you not now? She narrows her eyes and her voice drops. Well, now you have, for I be Mebeth. So old Meb, so like, this immediately reminds me of Queen Mab, the Queen of the Fairies. That's Queen Mab, Old Meb, and even Queen Meb. It's at some time, it's spelled M-A-B, M-E-B, M-A-E-D-H, which is then and like M-A-E-V-E for Maeve. So there are variations on the name, but yeah, and there are obvious reasons why. But you're a midwife? Well, oh, this reminds me of the very first joke I ever learned. Actually, that's not entirely true. I learned 2 jokes at once, but one of the first 2 jokes I ever learned with the zebra when he gets out of the zoo and he's running down the road. He's escaped, looks over the hedge and sees a field full of animals and says, "Hello, who are you and what do you do?"
But let's not get into that here. You're a midwife? And what do you do?
Updated my journal.
I set bones right, drive the cough out of the sick, yank out squealing stubborn babes, mend cloaks or a rag or two, make cures and herbs and other such.
She squints at you, studying your scars.
Be needing a cure or free, do you then?
Cures?
Aye, you be needing some cures to look at ya. Do you want to buy something, do you?
She glances at the scars covering your skin again, then shrugs.
Too late to be asking for them, I think.
I don't need any cures now, but they might be useful later. Can I see what you have? And old Meb will buy bronze rings. I won't sell this one because this one is for the tent man. But I have other bronze rings to sell. Many bronze rings to sell, in fact. And since dak'kon is even wearing one or two of them, I can sell the ones in his inventory without worrying about not having space, not having a spare one to open portals. Now that has freed up a lot of pack space. Scroll of Remove Curse. Very, very tempting. Mebeth turns to you as you enter and gives you a skeptical eye.
Your path brings you back here, does it, child?
Yes, I had some questions for you. Not that I actually left at all.
Go on and ask, then.
Do you know someone named Farod?
Farod? That! Ha!
You watch as Mebeth spits once, twice, 3 times, then follows it by making a semicircle over her heart.
That gold turd! What should be wanting with the likes of him?
That's not how you spell turd, lady, but never mind. I need to find him. Do you know where he is?
He's not in Ragpicker's Square. That much I can tell you. You need to find a way under the square to get to that turd spider's kit.
She spits again.
Even talking about him leaves a foul taste, it does.
So he's underneath the square. She jabs her finger at the floor.
He's buried beneath these piles of trash, him and his boys, and a tough time you'd have digging him out of his nest.
She shakes her head.
Let it be, child.
But I need to find him. How do I get down there?
Updated my journal.
Mebeth frowns, then sighs.
You tell Farrell's got a gate that leads to his nest somewhere here in the square. It's just a matter of finding it. You might want to ask some of the others, some who travel a bit more than old Mebeth.
I see. I had some other questions. I'm missing a journal. Do you know where one could be found?
Mebeth thinks. I haven't seen one. If it's in the square, which I doubt, since folks don't traffic much with books and the like, it's most likely been sold or stolen. Was it something important to you, then? A magic thingy all glowing and sparkling with magic, say? If so, you might never see it again.
Maybe not, but I did have some other questions.
Go on and ask, then.
Are you a witch, Mebeth? Mebeth scrutinises you.
I say not as much as what I am and isn't, but what you be wanting to know so full bad for that you're hound an old woman barking and sniffing for a juicy bit of gossip?
Well, I want to learn about magic. Could you teach me? Mevith laughs.
Oh, I'm no teacher, no schoolmistress all set up to teach them like in a big festival. There's others somewhere, I'm sure, that'd spill the dark of it. You'd be wasting your time with old Mevith, so you would.
Oh, I don't agree. I think you have a lot to teach. Mevith looks at you intently.
Oh, I? Why do you want to learn such things?
Because I may need it to solve the mystery of who I am. After a moment, Mevith nods.
The art may help, it may not, and you must not rely on it to solve all your problems, she sighs. Oh, child, it's most likely only going to add another chip to your pile of questions.
Oh, I understand, but will you teach me?
Mevith shakes her head. One should make songs rather than make magic. Songs have more beauty. Magic's been made dull, commonplace, soiled by the mob of people that have romped through it. She squints at you. I'll teach you, but first you need to do some things for me. You hear?
Oh, yep, sure, but what kind of things?
My legs aren't good for walking around Sigil, and there's errands I'd have you run. I need you to fetch me some herbs from the market. It's Spirewood, eastward and southerly from here, in the Hive Market. Here's a sample.
She takes a black seed from her coat and flicks it at you. Let's examine the seed.
Updated my journal.
You twist the black seed in your hand. As you do, you feel a small bite, then a small drop of blood oozes from your thumb. There are tiny barbs on the seed like teeth. Mevith snorts.
Careful with it. Show it to one of the fruit merchants at the market. They will know what herbs you seek.
Very well. And I'll return when I have the herbs. Now, I just want to say
All right.
that this is probably my favourite quest in the entire game. It's really well written, beautifully thought out, and nice and simple. But it feels so comprehensive. So let's go to the market while we have some pack space available.
I'm gone.
I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole quest done in one episode. While I'd like to do that, I'm looking at the time now and thinking, good God, I've been recording for like 35 minutes already. So, we'll see. But this is a nice quest. It involves interacting with NPCs that I enjoy, that I've, not necessarily spoken to earlier in this playthrough. But it's just really nice and fun. Now there was a Arborean fire seeds. Well, this man looks like he might know something about herbs and spices. We meet again. Some sea plums today. Arborean fire seed. Well, Mevith, the midwife from the square, tells me some herbs. She needs some herbs sprung from this seed here. Can you help me? The man takes the seed, looks at it critically. As he presses it between his thumb and forefinger, he winces and a small drop of blood appears on his thumb. Ah, this seed's got a bite on it. I noticed that. Do you have the herbs she's talking about? He can't seem to take his eye off the seed.
Lad, I don't know if there's anyone who has what your friend seeks, to be square. I've never seen such a seed before. You would need someone who cultivates seeds such as this, for I have none.
Very well then. Where would I find such a person?
Updated my journal.
Don't know the dark of that, friend.
He hands the seed back to you. You'd be hard pressed to find a gardener in the hive. Looks like I'll have to. Thanks for your help. Farewell. So, at this point in time, I obviously would like to go and look for someone who is interested in plants, is interested in caring for plants and making plants grow. Now, I actually ran across the individual before, but avoided interacting because I wanted to save it for the time when this quest would come. Now would appear to be that time. Now, I could have said hello to the person earlier and found out about him, but for now, I'm just going to go and look for someone who's, you know, near some plants. Look, there's some plants here. This ash-covered tree looks like it has suffered greatly since being transplanted here. Maybe, if it's suffered greatly, it's not being well looked after. Let's move on. We have our very German barrier here. Very German he was. And here we have a man who's sighing as he looks at this ash-covered tree. Looks like it has suffered greatly since being transplanted here. Okay, but he seems to care about the plants, so let's say hello. And his name is apparently Mourns for Trees. How very apt. You see a tired-looking, sorrowful old man who is gazing at the ash-dead tree in front of him. He is mumbling to himself and tapping his chin as if trying to figure something out. Occasionally, he shakes his head sadly. Greetings. He seems momentarily startled as you interrupt his train of thought. He speaks in a calm, unhurried tone, but one full of sadness. Oh, greetings to you too, friend. How's this day find you? Does it matter? The man is caught off guard, but then nods assent confidently. Yes, friend, it does. To me, at least. Though that doesn't count for much, it seems. He seems about to turn back to the tree. Well, it finds me well then. I've got rid of an evil demon-infested box, so I'd say I'm doing pretty good. He smiles, but sorrow still lies with it in his eyes. That's good, friend. Hope your good fortune continues. He seems about to turn back to the tree. And how does this day find you, old man? He shrugs slightly and proffers a bit of a smile. Fortune finds me well, though I'm saddened just the same. And why's that, friend? He pats the tree beside him. It's the trees here in the hive. They're dying, friend, and no one cares. Seeing the look on your face, he holds his hands up as if to silence you for a moment. It may not matter to some, but it's important to me. I feel it's a shame to see the last matters of life and beauty in this world left uncared for to die. Can you understand that, friend? All things die in time. Why concern yourself with this, with the when and how of it? Oh, how very Oscar Wilde. Actually, both these answers, but you don't know, it is a sad thing. It's not so much sad the trees are dying, but sad that nobody cares. He seems surprised and blurts out, Really? Oh, I mean, wonderful. Perhaps you would... He pauses and seems suddenly suspicious. He recomposes himself, speaking in his usual slow manner. In any case, that's good, I suppose you have some questions for me now? Yes, I did have some questions. But not just yet. What was it you were going to ask? For the first time, the man seems genuinely happy. Beaming, he explains, "It's difficult for anything to survive here. Just look around and you'll see what I mean, friend. I'm not sure if it's possible for the trees to thrive here, even if they somehow were to get enough light and clean air." Go on. He nods enthusiastically. "But if enough people care, really want them to live, I just know they'll survive. They'll turn green again and flourish." Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but you could be on something here. "I am right. I'm certain of it." A sense of conviction surrounds him like an aura. He seems so unlike the man you first spoke to. "That's all I'd ask of you, friend. Just care for them. Hope for their recovery. In time, should enough people want it, it will come to pass. Can you do that for me, friend?" "You know what, yes, I will think of the trees from time to time. I'll help. I'll join you in caring for the trees." "Excellent, my friend. Excellent. I thank you. You've given me back my confidence, my purpose. Perhaps I can find others like you who'll listen. People who'll make a difference. What about your companions, friend? Would you speak to them on my behalf?" I could ask Mort. He doesn't really care about stuff much, but dak'kon takes belief and knowing and understanding rather seriously, so... dak'kon, could you help this man? "One finds your request most intriguing. Trees in the hive, like cities in limbo. They would stand as a testament to the will of the people, not to bow to that which has surrounded and devour them, to take what has been thrust upon them or leave behind and make good of it. I too will care for these trees." Thanks. Mort, what do you think?
Huh? "Oh yeah, Chief, sure. Whatever you say."
Thanks, Mort. How very reassuring. And he sighs heavily. I did have some questions, Mourns for Trees." He nods, awaiting your question. "I need some herbs sprung from this seed. Can you help me?" Mourns for Trees takes the seed from you and holds it up to his eye. "What an odd seed. Are those little teeth along the edge? Barbs, perhaps? Where did you come by it, friend?" "Old Mebeth, the midwife in the square. She says she needs some herbs sprung from that seed. Do you know where I could get some?" "No." Mourns for Trees continues to stare at the seed in his hand. "This is the only seed of its kind I've ever seen. Ah!" He winces and a spot of blood glistens on his thumb. "The barbs on it are sharp indeed. Perhaps you should hold it." "So, you can't help me either?" "Unless you can make that one grow, I cannot. Again, I've never seen a seed of its like before." "Is there any way to make it grow faster?" Mourns for Trees looks at the seed. "Perhaps if you cared enough to see it grow?" "What do you mean?" "This is Sigil, friend. Belief is everything. Everything from the spire on which Sigil rests to even that tiny seed you hold there. If you believe enough, anything is possible." "Well, I suppose it's worth a try." To your surprise, there is a crack and the seed splits, twigs splitting from its surface like fingers. Instinctively you drop the seed, but the talon-like twigs wrap around your wrist and will not let go. "What the hell's?"
Updated my journal.
Mourns for Trees stares at the barbed branches wrapped around your wrist, stunned. "I think the barbs on these new branches would be more than enough to care for your friend's needs." I will return it to her then. Thank you for your help. Farewell. It bloody hurts. So, this was quite possibly the first instance of our belief affecting reality directly. I mean, yeah, we've had things like, I believe I'm going to kill this hive thug over here and stuff like that, but this is more, you know, reality being shaped by faith.
We're being watched, Chief.
You could almost say.
Just look natural. Casual.
Done.
But hey, we get to take this seed back to old Meb now. And I'm sure she'll be grateful for it when it arrives. You know, I might go along just to see some progress in this quest. It would be nice to do it all in the one episode, but that would be like an hour and a half episode or something, I think, if I did it all. You know, I might just go for it. See how much I can get done anyway.
I'm gone.
Oh, hello.
Huh?
Mort, do your stuff.
Flies wouldn't even rest on your cargo.
Seems true. It is I.
Alright,
What?
we're doing well here.
Good as done.
And by doing well, I mean not getting killed. Not getting killed is very important to my,
All right.
personal life goals here. With any luck, we'll even be leveling soon.
I'm gone.
So as we head back into Ragpicker's Square, I can ponder again on ways to get under there that might involve a portal. I should search for every portal that I can. Don't worry, I played this game like 20 years ago. I know where the portal is. But the nameless one doesn't. I mean, he's forgotten everything, right? And it was like 20 years ago, so yeah. Mevev turns as you enter and gives you a skeptical eye. If half brings you back here, does it, child? I've returned with those herbs that you wanted. Now, maybe you can get this damnable bramble patch off my wrist? Is that so? Mevev glances at the herbs that surround your wrist. If so, think them off then. Think them off? Yeah, think them off, you dolt. Alright, well, I'll do that.
Updated my journal.
Creaking and snapping, the black barbed branches unravel themselves from your wrist and form into a tangled ball of brush and twigs. It looks like a nest of dead black snakes. Mevev snorts. Think it into a picture frame or some such. Something with more structure and less angles. I'll try to imagine the barbed ball into a picture frame. The branch ball creaks, the twigs bending and twisting until the branches have bent themselves into a small picture frame, 2 handspans on a side. Almost unconsciously, you imagine shape the barbs to the back of the frame so that it could be hung from the wall easily. There, how's that? Mevev stares at the frame for a moment, then cackles. Ha ha ha! Square enough it is. Good work, child. Good work. She picks up the frame and scrutinises it. This'll do nicely. Is that all you wanted it for? Aye, well, this is enough, she sniffs. But there was one thing I forgot to tell you to fetch you when you left last time, and it'll take you back to the Merchant Square, it will. Look for the cloth seller, Giscall. He has some rags of mine that he was supposed to wash, and
Long has it been since I first asked him to do it. You could have mentioned that before I left. Alright. I'll be back.
I feel stronger.
And we get another thief level. Right. What are we going to do with our thief points? Well, obviously we're going to get like a extra D6 hit points. No points for constitution. Let's go. Okay, so 4 gained, not bad. Right, what do we want to do with our points? Well, I'll put 1 into everything. Then I'll say we want detect traps and open doors. We might need to pickpocket the dustman who's got the contract, but we also want detect traps and open doors. Okay, 11 points left, so I'll say 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. And I'll shunt this point across here as well. There we go. Backstab multiplier increased by 1. Isn't it always just double damage? That sounds weird. Oh well. And we get an ability score point. Now, at this point, I would very much like to place that point in intelligence. However, since wisdom does increase the rate at which I gain experience points, and seems to be linked to recalling memories, I should increase that. There we go. Neither of our companions have gained a level, but dak'kon is close to increasing his fighter level now. Let's head back to the market. So, at this point, I should obviously point out that this quest structure is remarkably similar to the actual spellcasting Vancian system itself, right? Where you have to memorize a spell, like go through all of the spells that you know and decide which ones you want to prepare.
Done.
And then memorize those spells, commit them to memory. At the moment of those spells being cast, they are removed from memory and cannot be used again until they've been memorized again. So I was sent to market to pick up a seed, and I had to then go and do something to find that seed and get it. So,
Done.
I then got to go to Mebeth and relinquish the seed into her care. So I am looking for Giscor the cloth merchant, and there he is.
Look here, the finest Toledo blade.
You see a spindly-looking merchant with a brush of grey and red stubble across his chin. He wears several layers of brightly coloured robes, so much so that he looks like a flag with arms and legs. He is shaking slightly as you watch. Greetings. Are you Giscor? Giscor. He bows and spreads his trembling hands. As he does, you notice his hands and forearms are a twisted mass of black scar tissue, as if they were once badly burned. How did you hurt your hands? Giscor doesn't seem to have heard you. He answers only with his spiel, delivered in the same flat monotone. Giscor buy cloth, Giscor sell cloth, wash cloth, mend cloth, and... He gestures to his layers of clothing with his shaking hands. Wear cloth. I see. Look, I'm here to pick up someone's washing. Mebeth, the midwife from Ragpicker's Square? Giscor blinks. Wash cloth? Yes, Mebeth, Ragpicker's Square. Ragpicker? He taps his fingers as if counting something. I know. I remember. He holds up a trembling finger as if telling you to wait.
we wait for him to fetch for washing. He comes back with a flattened mass of green rags, as thin as paper, yet so stiff they look like they could actually double as wooden boards. The rags are so caked with a greenish lime starch that they look like it would take years of soaking to relax them. How many times did you clean these? Giscor washcloth, starch cloth, every 5th day. Washcloth, starch cloth, every 5th day. His eyes flicker. Giscor wash many years, always starch cloth on 5th day. Giscor's ritual. But they're ruined! Washcloth is Giscor's ritual. His voice is flat, almost zombie-like. Must starch cloth every 5th day. What's the point of doing it every 5 days when they don't need... Oh, never mind, just hand them over. Give cloth. He nods, then hands you the rags. They're heavy. It's like carrying an armload of bricks. I suppose I'll take them back to Mebeth now. Farewell. So, Mebeth sent me to market to pick up a seed. If we think of the market as our spellbook, our collection of all the spells that we know, right? Mebeth sends us to market to pick up the right spell, the seed. When we gained the seed, that was like committing the spell to memory. We were literally carrying it around with us. And then when we gave the seed to Mebeth, that's like casting the spell, giving it away, sending it out into the world. And now we've been sent back to market to get a different thing, Mebeth's rags. So this is like an analogy for the whole spell casting process, which we're now going to take back and deliver unto Mebeth. Right?
I'm gone.
And that's a really nice way of looking at it, and even like explaining the system. Because when we go back to her and say, hey Mebeth, can you tell me how to like, you know, cast spells? And she'll be like, well, you've been doing something very similar process already, right? Let's see. Mebeth seems lost in twisting the black branched picture frame you made for her. She is squaring the edges and snapping off some of the barbed seeds on the branches. She suddenly notices you and sets down the frame. Aye, child? I brought your wash. I think Giscor was a little heavy on the cleaning ritual, though. She takes the stacks of starch green rags from you and she examines them critically. Well, at least they won't tear, she sighs. Or bend. And what was with that cloth merchant Giscor? His hands were all scarred and he seemed kind of slow in the head. Mebeth is still turning the cloth over in her hands, tapping it with her finger. Well, child, sometimes one burns with the art, and the other times the art burns you. Is that what happened to him? Mebeth clicks her tongue. Mayhap there's some who using the art is like breathing. They strolls about with pointy hats and stinkweed pipes. Then there's hedge wizards and plain touch gypsies and fortune casters and half-seers and midwives who flicker with the art. Them have a harder time of it. And Giscor was one of those then? Mebeth nods. Aye, so to speak. In some ways he's no different now than he was. Addicted to habit and ritual he was. She sets down the stiff rags. They clunk as she places them on the floor. Aye, now there's one last thing I need from you, child. I suppose this involves going back to the market, Mebeth. Oh, anything it does, child? Mebeth draws herself up and she glares at you. Even at a full height, her head barely crests her shoulders. It's not a waste of time to keep going back there, because this is an analogy for the whole spell memorizing process. Telling her that So this would be like saying, I don't like, memorizing spells, I don't like being sent to pick a new spell every time, why can't I just always use the same one? Right? This second option has been like, well, why couldn't you have memorized all of them at the same time and just sent me to collect everything in one go rather than one at a time? She's teaching me about management here. So, alright, never mind. What do you need? Only this. I need some inks for scribing some ingredients in one of my cookery books. I'll need you to fetch some from one of the merchants. Kosajai be her name. Alright then, I'm off. Farewell.
Updated my journal.
So let's go see Kosajai back in the marketplace.
Done.
What a nice name for a fishmonger. It's got a sort of oriental ring to it. But by this point, the player should definitely be beginning to suspect that there's a distinct pattern here. Beyond maybe the quest writer being a bit unoriginal and being like, okay, go back to that place again. And like, no, actually there's probably a reason why this is happening, right? And as I've mentioned before, it's like, go back to the market, which is like your spell book, pick up the thing that you need, and then do the thing that you need with the thing that you need. So off back to market we shall go.
I'm gone.
And we shall seek out Kosajai, the fishmonger. Who should be right around here. Literally, the three merchants we were sent for were, all in the same place. The old woman gives you a gummy smile. Some fish, my child? Fish heads? A cloying fish smell surrounds her. Mebeth said you sell ink. She sent me to purchase some. Ink? She chuckles. Nay, sir, I sells no ink. I just sells fish. Are you sure? Mebeth, the midwife in Ragpicker Square, mentioned you specifically. Eh? Well, Kosajai was my dam's name and my granddam's name, so could be any of us. Yet they're both in the dead books, so only this Kosajai matters. No idea what she's on about. A midwife in Pickers Square, you say? She thinks for a moment. I don't know her. I don't. Well then, she said you'll be able to help me, but if that's not the case... So you don't have the ink? Well, I can't say that's much of a surprise. I swear Mebeth is having me run in circles. Now hold on! Your midwife friend's not all wrong. I know you can get ink, but it may not be the ink you're looking for. The ink I'm thinking of bleeds from the gills of a Brogotta fin. It does. This Brogotta fin, it bleeds ink? She frowns. Thing is, that fish is not for eating. It's got horrible taste, scalds the tongue. You can ask Miriam. She pictures her fish selling down the street in a southerly way. She cackles. She might have one of them fish she needs on her pole. I'll go seek her out then. Well,
Updated my journal.
Let's go seek old Miriam, who I believe we spoke to before. And she mentioned seeing me previously with some of my companions. Yeah, look, I'm allowed to yawn. It's nearly 5 in the morning. Well met again, sir. What can I do for you? It's just like this old coven of old women, old hags, just all in it together, working around the city. Who knows? Have you heard of a Brogotta fin? I'm told it bleeds ink from its gills. She blinks, then nods. Aye, that fish is a strange one, it is. Not many have heard of it, unless they'd want to eat it. Difficult to kill, and even in death it still seems to live. Now, not many want to latch their teeth around something that still writhes. Well, do you have one?
Updated my journal.
Aye, but the ink...
You'll need something to carry it in. Have you got a bowl or a cup perchance? Oh great, I'll go and look for one, then I'll be back. But this is the marketplace. And I believe there was a merchant here selling things. Not sure I interacted with them previously. But let's go find someone we can talk to. Oh look, there's a hive merchant right here. This attractive young woman is smiling and beckoning to all passers-by as she calls out the virtues of her goods. Plates, jugs, cups, tankards, drink from the goblets of the finest lords. Upon seeing you, she waves you over as if you were an acquaintance. Well, hello there. May I see what you're selling here? I sell plates, cups, jugs, tankards, and cutlery and the like, sir. All of quality, sir. The finest. She steps back and lifts the lid of the crate on the wagon behind her. Please look over my goods. Should you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll step closer and examine the contents of the crate. You peer into the crate. It's full of plates, cups, jugs, tankards, cutlery, and the like. They look to be in varying degrees of quality, but some of it appears quite nice. As you're looking them over, she presses up against you. See anything you like, sir? Her long waving hair brushing against your shoulders smells faintly sweet, like vanilla. Where does all this come from? She flashes a wicked grin. My lovers are all burglars, sir. These goods are pilfered from the homes of Sigil's nobles. Upon seeing your expression, she laughs sweetly. Oh, yes, sir. Merely. My father and brothers are tinkers. These are wares which are discarded from the nobles' manors and made good by them once more. I see. I suppose your father and your brother do love you. It's family, after all. I need something to hold ink in. Do you have a tankard or a goblet for sale? She nods. Oh, yes, many kinds. They range in price from a few coppers to several hundred. Actually, I'm looking for the cheapest one you have. Several hundred might be overdoing it a bit. She raises an eyebrow. She reaches into the crate at her side, then throws a battered-looking tankard at you. It's covered in dents, and its handle looks like it's about to fall off. This one looks like it was used on someone's skull. She smiles slightly. It'll do, thanks, and farewell.
Updated my journal.
Mort, are you acquainted with this tankard? I mean, I'd understand if you were. And Mort's like, hey, you see that? The chick practically giving it away. For free. All because of my charm and sensuality. And I'm like, yeah, right, Mort. Come on, let's go. Well, met again, sir. What can I do for you? I bought a tankard. For free. Can I get the ink from the fish in it? She nods and plucks a fish from her pole. It twitches as she grabs it, then starts lashing about as she begins to twist it like a rag. She wrings it until bluish-black ichor begins to trickle from the fish's gills. When your tankard is almost full, she relaxes her grip and throws the twitching fish back into the sack at her side. Thanks, Miriam, and farewell.
Updated my journal.
So we're doing quite well here. So once again, we went to the marketplace. The person we went to see didn't quite have what we were expecting, and we had to do something to get it. Apart from Gisgol, who just like gave us the stuff, you know. So yeah, you know, if we think of the marketplace as the spell book, the things we're picking up as the spells being memorized, and then giving the spells, releasing the item to Mebeth is like, you know, letting the spell out into the world.
Path is mine.
What's up, Chief?
It's a nice analogy, right? It's thematic, makes you think. I like
You
it.
dog's body. What's the word, Chief?
Hey, more. There's two more of these buggers to annoy.
Flies wouldn't even rest on your carcass.
Hey, don't let him run away. Insult him!
Slattered.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
I hear your words. Your path is mine.
Don't mind us people, we just killed some blokes in front of you. But they were bad men. They were asking for it, honest.
Your will be done.
And we'll be able to sell that crappy cheap jewellery to Mebeth as well. And it won't be clogging up our inventory for ages. Isn't that nice? It's really nice.
Done.
Okay, let's go back to see the midwife. Never mind all the collectors lurking around here looking at us with hungry eyes, thinking of the jink they could earn selling our corpses back to the Dusties. If only they knew how many times they've done this already. What if he's got some kind of spell of forgetting on him which makes everyone else forget how many times he's died? Mebeth is tugging at the mass of greenish lime-starched rags you brought from Giskel. She seems to be purposely fraying the edges as if to peel them apart somehow. When she hears you approach, she turns. "Aye, child? Here's the ink you wanted." Mebeth takes the tankard and ink from you, then sniffs it. "Prime ink, fresh it is, aye." She nods at you. "You've done well, child. All I've asked. Now, I ask you again, after all you've seen, do you still want to learn the art?" "Yes. After all, the guiding goal of your errands was to test my persistence, was it not?" Mebeth smiles, then nods. "Yes. Mayhap, child, mayhap." "And that's not all. You knew who I had to see to accomplish each errand, didn't you?" Mebeth nods again, slower this time. "Mayhap, child. Mayhap, if and so. What did your senses tell you about 'em?" "Well, Morns for Trees showed me that my beliefs affect the world around me. Giskel taught me that ritual is a wasted effort if the purpose of the ritual is ignored. And Miriam taught me that no matter how much I think I know, there is still much I can learn from another's eyes." Mebeth is silent for a moment, then she walks slowly over to you and touches you on the cheek. "Oh, child," she sighs. "You will be a master sorcerer one day, you will. You have the knowing of it, yet you've come to old Mebeth for help, you have. What could a midwife teach such as one?" "Much, Mebeth. I want to learn all you have to teach." "So, you'll walk the path then?" Mebeth pauses. "Well, first things first, just having the knack for the art isn't enough. You need some means of giving it focus. Usually spells. The spells are usually in a book, so the art demands you have a spell book, or it's like before you can cast spells. So the art demands you have a spell book, or it's like before you can cast spells. Can you read? I don't know. And let's test it. Can you read this?" Mebeth draws forth a small tattered card. It looks like a recipe. Let's have a look at it. The writing on the recipe swims before your eyes, each symbol twisting out of focus whenever you try to read it. Almost instinctively you relax your eyes, allowing them to take in the page all at once, and the symbols suddenly bleed together. The recipe list measurements, ingredients. It appears to be some minor divination. I don't suffer from dyslexia, and I wonder if this is how it's supposed to be for people who do. This is a minor divination, isn't it? It looks like it's a spell that allows the user to see the nature of an item, to see whether it's enchanted or not. Mebeth's eyes widen. "Who are you to test old Mebeth so? Are you some fiend?" "Well, no, not to my knowledge. What's wrong?"
Updated my journal.
"Well, not expecting it, was I?" She nods at the recipe, then plucks it out of your hand. "What you see, it's written in the language of the art. If you're not a mageling yet, it should be all a swirl jumble and mishmash. She snaps her finger. Yet clear as crystal, you pluck the sense out of it right up. May you tell old Mebeth why that is? I think I may have known once, but forgot. Seeing the symbols just jarred my memory. Or else a natural gift you may have. No matter, you just shaved seasons off your learning, you have, Mebeth harumphs. Huh? And I've been looking for someone to handle the chores around here, I had. Well, maybe it's just as well then, although if you need help with anything round here, you can still ask. It's the least I can do in exchange for you teaching me. No, don't worry yourself about that, she frowns. Well, you can read spells well enough, but spells are no good if you're without a book to put them in. Do you have one? Mebeth glances around the house. Well, the hut, and then she catches sight of a black barb picture frame you made. She picks it up carefully and studies it. This'll do. Yeah, as if she hadn't blatantly planned that from the very beginning. Well, that thing, it's just a frame, but I imagine she wasn't expecting to need it anywhere near as soon. Ah, but so are you, child. Still holding the frame, she picks up one of the starched rags she got from Giscor. With a yank, she pulls off the greenish starched surface film. It flutters in the air like a wispy bit of cloth. Whatever Giscor uses to wash, it works better than curing, starching and stoning does to a normal rag. Can't afford parchment, I can't. But parchment? She takes the starchy film and pulls it over the black barbed frame, latching the rag's edges onto the hooks around the frame until it looks like a small greenish black painter's canvas. It's missing something. Well, it needs something painted on it. She nods. Aye, or written on it. She takes the tankard of ink you've given her and sets it down next to her. She dips one of her fingernails into the tankard, then draws it out, mumbling to herself. She begins to scratch symbols onto the frame one by one, still mumbling to herself. So let's wait. All done. Mebeth stands, drying her ink-stained fingernail on her robe. She tilts her head, regarding the strange framed page in front of her. A page for your spellbook, it is. She indicates you should pick it up. So let's do that. So again, we have made our own spellbook, and we've been sent to gather all the ingredients to find it and put them together. This is a really nicely done quest. I like it. Inside your spellbook are your recipes, your spells if you will. As long as they sits in the book though, they're just words. She taps her head. The art demands you pluck the magic out of the book and put it in your attic, your head, before you can tap their power. Go on. You put them in your attic by studying them, memorising them. You usually need to rest first before you can do this though. Any questions? No, that was fairly succinct. Oh, no questions, eh? Well now, you should have questions. You knows all about how to memorise spells, do you? You're a sharp one. You sure don't need any more Mebeth's words, all a gobbling up your precious time. You're a master sorcerer already. Oh, sorry about that, Mebeth. I meant no questions on what you'd said so far. Please explain how to memorise spells. Alright then, here's the dark of how you memorise the spells. Pick the spells you want to stick in your head from your spellbook before you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morn, they'll be buzzing in your head like flies, ready to be let out. How many spells can I cast? You can cast only one. Mayhap 2 spells before needing to rest again. There's a tiny flitting mazeling, there isn't much room in your attic. So use your spells wisely until you get wiser in the art. As your power increases, you get more room in your attic for spells. So as I get levels, I get more spell slots. Okay, go on. You can only cast spells you've memorised. So if you want to use the art to, say, mend something twice, you need to memorise the spell how many times? Trick question. Twice. Mebeth nods. Aye, twice, right enough.
How can I get more
Updated
spells?
my journal.
Mabeth shrugs.
Keep your eyes and ears out for learning. Even common folks might have some minor magics to teach. There's also scrolls, recipes, books, and even some stranger items that have spells inscribed on them. If you find one, just examine it closely and copy it into your book if you want it.
Got it, I understand, yeah.
I can also show you more spells if you return, especially when you've a little more of the planes in you.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Before you go, child, you need some magics for you to whet your appetite.
Mabeth rummages in her robe, then pulls forth 3 small recipes which she passes to you.
You should copy these into your book so you can go into your attic as soon as possible.
Thanks, Mabeth. My thanks.
Updated my journal.
Wait, there's more!
Mabeth fishes a tiny bundle of black cloth from her apron and unrolls it, producing a pair of amber earrings.
These will protect you on your travels, child. I no longer wear them myself, so go ahead and take them.
Thanks. Again, I suppose.
All right, child, don't tarry here any longer. One such as you has other ways to spend one's time than hanging around old Mabeth. Oh, now, come on, Mabeth, you're not that old. You flatterer. Your tongue is so lined with silver it'd shame a barter to have. Demon! Devil. Get your hints.
Thank you for everything, Mabeth.
You can thank me for not playing the alcove with what you learned. The art's damned many a fool. The art's damned many a fool who sought to bend it in ways the art weren't meant to be bend. Now, get along with you.
All right. Farewell.
I feel stronger.
We have a new class and we have levels. Yeah, we get to be a magic user now. But we should have some spell recipes. All on the ground. Oh, of course, because we had to unequip weapons. Friends. Good friends. Carry these for us, would you? 1, 2, 3. I need one more space. You know, these amber earrings grant a +2 bonus to armor class. Now this is unusual in that it's a bonus and not a flat armor class rate, right? Memorize 2 additional first level mage spells. I mean, these are just really good. These earrings are made from hardened sap of the razor vine. When properly prepared, items made from this substance can be enchanted with powerful spells of protection, and can only be used by the nameless one. Apparently he has pierced ears, so let's put them on. Because it makes space so we can pick stuff up. Right, let's pick up our receiving room logbook again. And then recipe chromatic orb, recipe identify, recipe blood bridge. Now, I'm going to save the game here because while it would appear that spell learning is automatic, it should be a percentage based on intelligence. So let's find out if I can learn all of these. Let's try and learn chromatic orb. This tattered card is for recipes. Yeah, let's try and copy that. Yep. Let's try and learn identify and blood bridge. Excellent. We also have a scroll of strength, a scroll of ice knife, and a scroll of chromatic orb, which we already know. So we can give that scroll to dak'kon to learn, or we can hold on to it to ourselves and have it as a readied item because we don't have his sword. Now we have a spell book with spells in it. We have level 1 spells and some level 2 spells. And we have some levels because we have lots of experience points. Let's go up to level 2. That will get us an extra level 1 spell slot. Oh no, it took us all the way up to level 3 straight away, so we'll have a level 2 spell slot as well. So for level 2 spells, I should probably be preparing spells in the next episode, to be honest, because I've been going for long enough as it is. However, it would be nice to get some more spells. No, just checking up on you, Meb. I've got a plan, don't worry. Right, I'd like to prepare 1, 2, 3 chromatic orbs, 1 identify, and 1 ice knife. There we go. Could I rest here? She nods. Of course, child. I have a mess of blankets in the corner that would serve. Well, that'll be fine. Thank you. And that might actually be the first time we've rested in this playthrough. And now we have spells that we can cast. Excellent. Let's head outside and get ready to end the episode, because now we have things to do back in the hive. I'm imagining that we could help Angyar, and Rourke needs us to help him find those rings. But for now, I'm going to end the episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and cheerio!